Good afternoon and welcome to the Stock Planner channel. I thought today I would go over some of my indicators that I use for my profitable trading system. I'm not going to try to teach you the indicators because you can look this up on YouTube and Investopedia and find out how they work. And there's many YouTube videos on each of these indicators. But I'm just going to show you how I use them together to form a profitable trading system. The first indicator is TTM squeeze. It's a momentum indicator, and this indicates no momentum, and the bars indicate momentum. The next one is the 200-day moving average. The third one is the MACD. Then we have the zigzag, my perfect indicator, but it looks in the future, so it's not really perfect. And the RSI indicator, which I use the most. I'm a swing trader, so I'm looking for trend reversals, and the RSI indicator is pretty good with that. A lot of people use the RSI indicator to look for support and resistance lines. The TTM indicator gives me a good indication of momentum. When you see this, just dots, that means there's no momentum. And when you see bars, momentum is increasing and then decreasing. And likewise, you'll see momentum is increasing a little bit, decreasing, and then there's no momentum. There's another period of no momentum and some consolidation here. Momentum bars up, and you can see the upward trend. The next indicator is the 200-day moving average. And the thing here is, if the price is above the 200-day moving average, it should be in an up cycle. And when the price is below the 200-day average, we have a downtrend. So the belief is you trade up and buy when it's above the 200-day moving average, and you short when it's below. The next indicator that I'd like to talk about is the RSI. And how you work this, if the RSI is above the 70, you look to go short shortly after. And if it's below the 30, you look to go up. And what I do is I wait for the RSI to come back around. So how I use this indicator is I look to see if it's above or below the 30-day moving average. And within the last 3 or 4 bars, we had a trend reversal. If those two things occur, which it did here, you would go short. So I turned on my RSI, and you'll see that RSI dropped below the 70. That's a good sign. We had a zigzag change within the 1 or 2 bars, and we got some RSI singles, and that would have been a tremendous play. But you notice it kind of missed this one out. So if you didn't get an RSI, or the RSI didn't drop below the 30, you missed it. So that's when I use my MACD indicator. I'll turn the MACD on. And the MACD is a very common indicator that's used. You get singles when it crosses over above or below. And those crossovers can be taken, and if you got a crossover there that's pointing down, so you would go short. But there's a lot of them. And so what I do is I only take the ones that are, I always only take shorts when the MACD is above the 0. So we take that and take that, and the zigzag must be red or in a downward trend. So we would take that one, and I don't know if it's a 3 bars, but it has to occur within 4 bars, and you didn't get the single to here, so I don't know. But here's a single, and here's some green ones that we would have missed. But now this one here, you would have won eventually, but you would have had to wait, and this would have been a winner. The last indicator I'd like to talk about is the zigzag indicator. And what you have is you can plot these out. This is a high here, and a low here, and then a high here. Zigzag. It's perfect because what happens is before it decides to switch, it looks 2 bars in the future. And this is basically a fractal. A fractal looks like this. It takes 2 bars on one side, a peak, and then 2 bars on the other side. So it's a lagging indicator or fractal. Just because you have to wait 2 days or 2 bars or 2 hours or 2 minutes before you get a single. It's a lagging indicator. You see here 1, 2. There's a single after 2 bars after the fractal. Likewise, right here. And the conditions I say is for a MAC to work, you have to have an MAC single and within 2 or 3 days of the fractals. Likewise, the RSI. 2 or 3 days of the switch, then it's a valid RSI. And this is a big winner again. So I try to avoid trades when there's no momentum, consolidation, because I want things to move. Then I look for the overwhelming trend. This is up, and it would be a good idea to take just buys when the trend is like that. I like to see trend reversals using the RSI and the zigzag, and all these other trades here where the RSI went above the 70, which would indicate it down. I eliminate them because the zigzag is saying it's green. So eliminate those. Eliminate all these as well because of the zigzag. Eliminate all these reds, the downward MACDs, because the zigzag says it's green. So the zigzag, I'm really not trading with the zigzag, but it does eliminate the noise and keeps me in a trade longer. And it's a very good visual indicator to show the direction of the trend. It's a perfect indicator. It never makes a mistake, but it also looks 2 bars into the future before it gives it and decides it's a change. And then it repaints itself. And it doesn't change based on a percentage of change, which I'm using 7%, and to keep me in a trade. So the movement's less than 7%. This stays. It ignores those. So in conclusion, I use 5 or 6 indicators: the TTM squeeze for momentum, direction, the 200-day moving average. I also use a 50. The MACD for when they're in long trending trades and want to re-enter. The MACD gives you other singles, other buy singles, and these were all buys. The zigzag for the visual trend, keep me in a trade longer. And lastly, the one I use the most is the RSI for trend reversals. Now this is Procter & Gamble. Let's keep that in mind for a minute. I'm going to use the current symbol. I'm going to back test it for a year. I'm going to use $10,000 in the account. I'm going to use a 2% stop loss and a 5% profit target. And let's see how things go. Back test it. And it says I would have had 3 trades all last year. All of them profit though. That's good. I would have made $180 profit. And a risk-adjusted return, the amount of time that I had in it, would be 300%. But just in these 3 trades, based on the $10,000, the annual return is only 1.5%. Okay, but remember, my money was idle, and I could have used it for other things. Now, the same thing. Let's just take a look. And I haven't done this before. I did this one before I made the video, but you have a 100% win rate. I'm going to run it against the MACD and see how that did. And it did 6 trades for around the same amount. This time we had 1 loser, and it must have hit the stop target at this 2nd of September. Hit it on the 8th. 2nd of September, and there is the 8th. It went down below. Stop loss. Buy, sell, buy, sell. That's the one you lost. Buy, sell, you won that one. And this is a short and a cover. And you would have won that one. So combining both strategies, the MACD strategy and the RSI strategy, produced fairly good results with an 83% win rate. This and I probably subconsciously chose this one because I know that the industrials work real well with these two indicators. Um, you would choose stocks that work well with these indicators, and that's what I've done. I've created a basket full of stocks that work well with these two indicators, and I did a back test to make sure that. And Procter and Gamble is one of those stocks. And this is my watch list of 180 stocks plus, and Procter & Gamble always has been one of my favorites. And there it is. So the secret to my strategy is to have a simple system, backtest it with a basket full of stocks that are favorable, that work well with the indicators that you've chosen. I use basically 5 or 6 indicators, of which MACD and the RSI are the most important. And each day I run a report that gives me the signals to check and play. And I know which signals do well with the indicators that I've chosen. Currently, I have 182 stocks in my domain. These are stocks that I know. I have 111 that work well with the RSI and 77 that work well with the MACD. And I've chosen the best of those stocks and put them in a portfolio, of which I have 40. So I hope this helps by showing some of my indicators to you. It helps me gain more knowledge. It helps me be able to explain what I'm doing. And I have found some errors here and there in my spreadsheets and in my program that I've cleared up and made my trading better. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. The videos will get smoother as I get more familiar with the technology. Thank you.